August 4th, 2023, New York City, Union Square Park. Thousands of people flood the streets. We're talking tens of thousands. Traffic is completely stopped. The NYPD is in full riot gear. People are climbing on top of buses like it's a zombie apocalypse. The city is, for all practical purposes, completely shut down. Now here's the question. What caused this? A presidential announcement? A natural disaster? The return of the McRib? No. A 21-year-old kid in his apartment sent one tweet. He promised to give away a gaming PC to whoever showed up. That's it. That was the entire master plan. And tens of thousands of people showed up so aggressively that the mayor of New York City had to go on television the next morning to personally condemn him. Think about that. The mayor of the most powerful city on earth had to publicly address a guy whose primary skill is screaming at his monitor while playing NBA 2K. His name is Kai Cenat, and what happened in Union Square wasn't an accident. It was the terrifying proof of a massive psychological experiment. Kai didn't just build an audience. He built a cult. Today, we are breaking down the exact psychological tactics Kai used to brainwash an entire generation, turn parasocial relationships into a multi-million-dollar empire, and make his viewers literally riot for him. To understand how Kai brainwashed millions of kids, you have to understand the psychological trick called parasocial intimacy. Let's look at traditional media. Jimmy Fallon performs from $1 million studio, wearing a suit, reading jokes written by guys who went to Harvard. He is performing for you. But when you watch Kai Cenat, he's sitting in his messy bedroom, wearing sweatpants, and destroying his own furniture because he lost a game of 2K. He isn't performing. He's hanging out with you. It feels like you are FaceTiming a friend, a very loud, very rich friend, but you aren't. You are watching a highly calculated media operation. Kai's brainwashing technique is simple. Eliminate all distance. When you watch a human being eat, sleep, and rage every single day, your brain's mirror neurons start to physically process them as a close friend. You aren't a fan anymore. You are part of the friend group. But people think this was an accident. They think he just naturally has great energy. That is completely false. In 2021, Kai and 4 other creators formed AMP. They moved into a house in Atlanta and committed to one ruthless strategy: manufacture raw intimacy every single day. While TV executives were having committee meetings to figure out what Gen Z likes, these 5 guys were creating a content factory designed to hijack your dopamine receptors. They didn't write scripts, they manufactured chaos. And by doing it live, they bypassed the logical part of your brain that knows it's a broadcast. The viewer feels like an insider. And once you make someone feel like an insider, they will defend you on Twitter like you're their own flesh and blood. And more importantly, they will pay your rent. By early 2023, Kai had perfected this parasocial intimacy, but having millions of people feel like they are your friend doesn't automatically mean you have a multi-million-dollar business. The problem with streaming is the ceiling. You get subscribers, Twitch takes a massive cut, you make some money. You're one bad week away from the algorithm deciding you belong in the digital graveyard. So Kai did something that was absolute evil genius. He announced a subathon, a live stream where a timer counts down, and every time someone subscribes, the timer goes up. He called it the Mafiathon. The outside world saw a guy sleeping and eating on camera for 30 days straight, but what he actually created was the most psychologically manipulative money-making machine in entertainment. Think about a casino. The games are designed so you never feel done. The subathon is the exact same mechanism, but the jackpot is a human being's time. Viewers became addicted to the idea that their $5 kept the party going. They felt personally responsible for keeping their friend awake. At peak Mafiathon, he had 300,000 active subscribers. That's millions of dollars in revenue in a month. But more importantly, it proved his audience wouldn't just watch him for free. The brainwashing was so complete that they would happily pay his car note and buy him a mansion just to feel like they were part of his life. At some point in 2023, the most incredible validation loop in internet history started to happen. A-list celebrities realized that going on late-night TV to talk to an audience of sleeping grandmas wasn't selling movie tickets anymore. So they started quietly DMing Kai Cenat, Nicki Minaj, John Cena, Kevin Hart. They didn't want a publicist-approved interview. They wanted to squeeze onto a tiny chair in a bedroom in Atlanta. And when Kevin Hart showed up, he didn't run the show. Kai did. Kevin literally had to sit there while Kai roasted him and forced him to participate in internet chaos. Hollywood realized that traditional marketing was dead. If they wanted to reach young people, they had to go to the one guy who had already successfully brainwashed them. But for Kai's viewers, this had a completely different psychological effect. When you sit in your bedroom and watch Kevin Hart treat Kai like an equal, it validates your obsession. It tells your brain, I'm not weird for watching this kid. Even Hollywood respects him. This is the ultimate validation loop. Kai didn't need Hollywood to become famous. He used Hollywood to legitimize his cult. He proved to his fans that their world, the internet, was actually the center of the universe. By late 2023, the scale of this brainwashing became impossible for the corporate world to ignore. Kai Cenat alone was responsible for a massive percentage of Twitch's total revenue, so his team did what any ruthless business would do. They let word leak that Kai was open to leaving. What followed was a massive bidding war. Kick and Rumble were basically sliding blank checks across the table, desperate to buy Twitch's most valuable asset. Offers were rumored to be anywhere from $40 to $100 million. But here's what those billionaire executives understood. Rumble and Kick weren't bidding on a content creator. They were bidding on a cult leader. They knew that his audience was so deeply loyal, so completely locked into the parasocial trap, that they would blindly follow him to any website on earth. He doesn't need Twitch. His fans belong to him. Kai Cenat didn't just build an audience. He engineered a psychological monopoly. He proved that if you blur the line between entertainment and friendship, you can charge people millions of dollars just for the privilege of watching you exist. And the most terrifying part? Right now, millions of kids genuinely believe they helped a friend become a millionaire, when in reality, they were just the product.